Hello everybody, welcome to zapyard and Zapcademy. So, in our last video, we understood about the different OpenText Vim versions roadmap, its sustaining maintenance, when does its life really ends, which versions are actually supported on ECC platform, and which versions are supported on S/4HANA platform. So, definitely by now, you would have really understood that Vim is one of the 21st century tool which is really needed for all our invoice needs. Actually, it's a streamlined vendor invoice management solution and which assists when it comes to accelerating your business processes. A Vim system can definitely help and support the adaptation for the hyper-scaled need and the nature of modern businesses. So here in this video, we are going to talk about the different Vim table flows with respect to the versions from Vim 7.0 onwards up to Vim 7.5 SP2. So basically, I can say that this will be till Vim 7.5 SP2. So what are the different table flows involved? So when it comes about incoming invoice into SAP, there could be multiple channels through which the invoice could be ingested into SAP and then finally onto Vim, right? Because we all know that Vim is an add-on on SAP. So whether the invoice comes via OAWD, as in either we direct scan and use OAWD transaction to directly archive the invoice, or via Ariba, or via any EDI channel such as iDoc, or the most popular one via email. So once the invoice comes into SAP, then it goes for extraction. So with respect to, it doesn't go for extraction, it goes for registration. So once it goes into registration, so whatever process that you see from registration to extraction, the crucial data gets stored in this table, which is /opt_ct_idh_head table. And this I am talking with respect to these versions and the different OCR tools that we use for extraction, and mostly this applicable for this version is your ICC, that is Invoice Capture Center, and it is one of the OCR solution for extraction. It basically helps in the automation of the capturing of paper invoices or the email data, as in the invoices that comes by email channel, by using OCR to extract the data. And talking about the ICC as an OCR solution, so basically in this case, the inbound configuration that we normally use is your business center inbound configuration, which is used to handle the incoming document processing. So once the data extraction happens, the data that gets stored is in this table /opt/vim_1ext_h, and post the inbound configuration happens, that is once the data goes on to document processing. For the document processing, that is the DP doc ID creation, the main tables that will be applicable here are opt_vim1 head for the header data, /opt/vim_2 head for the data that consists post the data getting posted, as in your crucial accounting information data, and all your item related data will be stored in /opt/vim_1. Now if we move on, so basically if we move on to the next thing, as in to the higher versions from 7.5 SP3 onwards up to whatever is the latest release. So as of now, the latest release that is available in market was till 21.2. So if we compare with this latest release, so how the table flow happens, the initial part remains the same, that is incoming invoice into SAP either via OAWD or Ariba or iDoc or email channel. This part remains the same. Now post registration, the main change that you see here is the table that stores the data post the early archiving or registration. So this is a major change here. So here the table that stores the crucial data will be /otx/pf01_t_1reg. And with respect to extraction, the main OCR solutions that we use with respect to VIM 7.5 SP3 and higher up to VIM 20.4 or VIM 21.4 and higher solutions is the different OCR solutions available is your BCC, that is your Open Text Business Center Capture Solution, or your IES. And basically this is known as Information Extraction Services, or we popularly call it as Intelligent Capture for SAP Solutions, which we can also say as IC for SAP. So here with the business center capture, here your OCR engine is powered by either machine learning, and it incorporates the best practices of robotics process automation. But the latest OCR solution that is recommended by OpenText with respect to all the higher versions from VIM 7.5, SP11 or other higher versions and onwards, or on the S4HANA higher versions like VIM 20.4 or 21.4 and onwards, is your IES, is your recommended OCR solution. And what are the main features that you get with respect to this particular new OCR solution is like enhanced machine learning, a better intelligent document recognition, you get an alternative method of validation, and you get improvement in determination of business partners. And also one more difference, if you see here, this particular table that stores the extracted data, this also, if you observe carefully, this also you'll observe a change. So here the table becomes /OTX/PF01 _T_1EXT. And once the data flows from the early archiving and registration and extraction to the document processing stage, here again the table remains the same as we saw in the last slide. So basically one head and two head holds your header data, and your accounting information related data post the DP gets posted, and one item stores your line item data. Another drastic difference between both the slides that you see with respect to the different versions is, here if you want to see the OpenText Business Center, the main transaction that you use is /OTX/PF03 _WP. But here in this case it is /OTX/VIM _7AX8. So your transaction becomes, for accessing your VIM inbound document handling framework, that is /OTX/VIM _7AX8. But if you go on to this one, so to observe all your OpenText Business Center related data, what is the T code that you can use? It is /OTX/PF03 _WP. So I hope now you would have understood what are the main differences with respect to the table flow and the important transactions with respect to the early archiving, registration and extraction stage. When we see from a high level perspective, if I compare up from VIM 7.0 to VIM 7.5 SP2 version onwards, and from VIM 7.5 SP3 to all the higher version that is supported on S4HANA like VIM 20.4 or VIM 21.4. So let me make this 21.4. So up to this version, what are the different tables or the main differences that you observe with respect to important transactions, the OCR solution and the different tables. But as I said, these main tables post it goes into document processing, this main table remains the same. I hope you like this crucial information with respect to the different table flows as compared to the different versions, and also the different OCR solutions that are being primarily used, and also the main transaction that we use for accessing the OpenText Business Center as compared to your OpenText Business Center inbound configuration. And please note, your Business Center inbound configuration replaces your incoming document handling framework and the ICC dispatcher framework from 7.5 SP3 and later. So what I meant is basically, if you see here, when I talked about ICC, so this was with reference to your incoming document handler framework and your ICC dispatcher framework. But if you see here, here it all talks about BCC or IES. So this is what I said actually. So once again I'll convey that your business center inbound configuration replaces the incoming document handling framework and your ICC dispatcher framework from VIM 7.5 SP3 and later. So similarly, if you upgrade to VIM 16.3 onwards and higher, you must use business center inbound configuration. So I hope this information was very much crucial and a quick learning from your perspective for all the people out there who are working into OpenText Vim. Thank you. Thanks for watching and keep looking out for such more videos in the future.